Dear students, in this module I will discuss about power. You have learnt about power in lower classes also. Power is defined as rate of doing work. If a machine or any other agent is doing work W in time T, then rate of doing work, that is work divided by time, is called power. Therefore, power is defined as rate of doing work. Now, if you recall, work may be defined as a scalar product of force and displacement. Therefore, power can be expressed like force, scalar product of force and displacement upon time. So, this is power equals to force dot S upon T. Displacement of upon time is velocity. So P equals to F dot B. From this expression, it is very clear that power may also be defined as a scalar product of force and velocity. Although force and velocity both are vector quantities, but their product, which is power, is a scalar quantity. Therefore, power is defined as a scalar product of force and velocity. So, definition, either you can say rate of doing work is called power, or scalar product of force and velocity is called power. Formula, P equals to work upon time, or P equals to scalar product of force and velocity. Now, the next question is unit of power. Unit of power. So, as far as SI unit of power is concerned, SI unit of power. So, this will be SI unit of work upon SI unit of time. Now, SI unit of work is joule and SI unit of time is second. So, this is joule upon second, which is also known as watt. So, SI unit of power is watt. Now, the question is how to define 1 watt. See, we have to define 1 watt. What is 1? For this, we will take the help of expression of power, formula of power, P equals to W upon T. In this, if work is 1 joule and time is 1 second, then power will be 1 joule per second, or this is 1 watt. So, from this expression, it is clear that if 1 joule work is done by any agent in 1 second, then the power of that agent is 1 watt, or 1 watt is the power of a machine which performs a work of 1 joule in 1 second. Now, bigger units of power. Bigger units of power. First is 1 kilowatt. This is 1000 watt. Another unit is horsepower. 1 horsepower is 746 watt. So these are the two bigger units of power. Now next is dimensional formula of power. Formula of power is work upon power, P equals to work upon time. So dimensional formula of power is equals to dimension of work ml square T minus 2 upon time, that is T. Therefore dimensional formula of power is ml square T to the power minus. So this is all about power. Now before I come to the next topic, once again I would like to summarize. First thing, what is power? Power is defined as rate of doing work. Since we say that rate of doing work, so many times I told you that rate of means something divided by time. So when we say power is rate of doing work, means work is to be divided by time, and that's why the formula of power is P equals to work upon time. P equals to W by T. Now work may be written as a scalar product of force and displacement. So P will be F dot S upon T. Now S upon T, that is displacement upon time, is the velocity, because velocity is defined as rate of displacement. That's why displacement is divided by time. So in place of S upon T we can write velocity V. So power equals to F dot V. That is, power may be defined as a scalar product of force and velocity. This is one thing, definition and formula. Then second thing is, which kind of quantity is this? Since it is the scalar product of force and velocity, therefore power is a scalar quantity. Next thing is, what is the SI unit of power? The SI unit of power is watt. Then further, how to define 1 watt? 1 watt is the power of a machine or any agent which performs a work of 1 joule in 1 second. If any machine is performing 1 joule work in 1 second, then the power of that machine is said to be 1 watt. The next is, what are the other units? Other and bigger units of power are kilowatt. In 1 kilowatt there are 1000 watts, and 1 horsepower. In 1 horsepower there are 746 watts. Finally, what is the dimensional formula of power? So power is defined as rate of doing work. So by that formula we can get the dimensional formula of power, and it comes out to be ml square T to the power minus 3. Now I will take another topic which is called collisions. Literally, the meaning of collision is one body is striking with the other. There is direct contact between the two striking bodies. But in physics, the concept of collision is somewhat different. In physics, we define the collision in different way. Collision between two bodies is said to occur when they either physically strike against each other, or if the path of the motion of one is influenced by the other. I repeat, collision between two bodies is said to occur when they either physically strike against each other, or if the path of the motion of one is influenced by the other. To make you understand, I will take the example of Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. In order to study the structure of nucleus, what Rutherford did, he bombarded alpha particles on the gold foil, and then he noticed that maximum alpha particles moved without any deviation. They pass on the gold foil without any deviation. Few of them, they were deviated from their paths in such a way that they move away from the nucleus. And a very few alpha particles were sent back. Now in this, when we say alpha particles are bombarded on the nucleus of the gold foil, general perception is that they are striking the nucleus, but it never happened. Alpha particles are positively charged particles. They are the nucleus of helium atom, and when they are bombarded on the nucleus of gold, then as you know now that nucleus contains all the positive charge of the atom, so they were repelled. Since most part of the atom is hollow, so maximum particles went on without any deviation, but those who were moving towards the nucleus, closely to the nucleus, they were repelled by the positive charge of the nucleus, because alpha particles are positively charged particles and nucleus is also positively charged particle. Therefore, between the like charge repulsion occurs, and therefore they were deviated from their path and they were sent away from the nucleus, making an angle of greater than 180 degree. Then a very few were returned because they were directed to the nucleus only, so they were without touching the nucleus, they were sent back due to a strong repulsive force. So what I want to tell you that in this, it never happened that the alpha particle touches the nucleus of gold. So this is the example, beautiful example of collision. In this, the only path was influenced by the nucleus, but physically there was no contact. Now, there are two types of collisions. One is elastic collision. A collision is said to be elastic if the momentum as well as kinetic energy of the particles remain conserved. Means momentum as well as kinetic energy remain conserved. So, a collision is said to be elastic collision if momentum as well as kinetic energy of the particles remain conserved. Second is called inelastic collision. A collision is said to be inelastic collision if the momentum remains conserved but kinetic energy of the particles changes. Momentum remains conserved kinetic energy changes. So once again I am telling you the definition of inelastic collision. A collision is said to be inelastic if momentum remains conserved but kinetic energy changes. One important thing which we need to take care is either it is elastic collision or inelastic collision. Total energy remains conserved. Means kinetic energy is changing, all right, in elastic collision. In elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. But whether it is elastic collision or inelastic collision, by the principle of conservation of energy, the total energy remains conserved. Now I will solve few numericals. Before I move to collision, I will summarize the collisions. A collision is said to occur when the two bodies either physically strike against each other or if the path of the one is influenced by the other. There are two types of collision, elastic collision and inelastic collision. A collision is said to be elastic collision if the momentum as well as kinetic energy of the system remains conserved. A collision is said to be inelastic collision if momentum remains conserved but kinetic energy of the system changes. Now, numericals. First question is, find the power of a 60 kg man who can climb up a height of 10 meter in half a minute. G is 9.8 meter per second square. I repeat the question. Find the power of a 60 kg man who can climb up a height of 10 meter in half a minute. G is given 9.8 meter per second square. So first we will note down what is given to us. Mass is given 60 kg. Height is given 10 meter. G is given 9.8 meter per second square. Time is given half minute, means 30 seconds. Find the power of a 60 kg man. Mass is 60 kg. Who can climb up a height of 10 meter? Height is 10 meter. In half a minute, time is half minute, that is 30 seconds. G is 9.8 meter per second square. We have to find power. Now, power is work upon time. Work is force into displacement upon time. Force is mg, displacement is h upon t. So, on substituting the value, power is, mass is 60 kg into g is 9.8, height is 10 upon time is 30 seconds. 30 1 ja 30 2 ja, p equals to 2 into 9.8 multiplied by 10 is 98, p equals to 196 watt. So first you will write the given, then you will write the formula and you will substitute the value, you will get the answer. Second question is, the power of a pump motor is 2 kilowatt. In this question, power is given. How much water per minute can it raise to a height of 10 meter? Again, height is given, but mass of water which can be lifted up is required, and time is per minute means 60 seconds. G in this question is given 10 meter per second square. I read the question again. The power of a pump motor is 2 kilowatt. How much water per minute can it raise to a height of 10 meter? G is 10 meter per second square. Now, see, first we will note down what is given to us. Mass, it is required. Height is given 10 meter. G is given 10 meter per second square. Time is given 1 minute, that is 60 second. Power is given 2 kilowatt. Now, as you know, in 1 kilowatt there are 1000 watt. So, in 2 kilowatt there will be 2000 watt. Now, again, power equals to work upon time. So, Fs upon T, mgh upon T. So, these are the formula of power. Now, from here, if you see, we have to find the mass. So, mass will be P into T upon G H. Now, power is 2000 watt. Time is 60 seconds. G is 10 and height is also 10. So, 0 is cancelled by this, 0 is cancelled by this, n equals to 200 into 6 and mass is 1200 kg. So, again we have noted the given data, and by applying the formula and on substituting the values we get the answer. Now, third question is very interesting question. Listen the question carefully. The human heart forces 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube of blood per minute through the arteries under a pressure of 0.13 meter. Calculate the horsepower of the heart. The density of blood is 1.03 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Take G equals to 9.8 meter per second square. I repeat the question. The human heart forces 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube of blood per minute through the arteries under a pressure of 0.13 meter. Calculate the horsepower of the heart. The density of blood is 1.03 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Take G equals to 9.8 meter per second square. So, in this question also I will note down the given data. The human heart forces 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube of blood. Volume of blood is given 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube per minute. Time is given per minute, means 60 seconds. Through the arteries under a pressure of 0.13 meter. Height is given 0.13 meter. Calculate the horsepower. Power is required of the heart. The density of blood is given 1.03 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. And G is given 9.8 meter per second square. Now again, power equals to work upon time, P equals to Fs upon T, P equals to mgh upon T. Now since we know density equals to mass upon volume, from this mass will be volume into density. So here we can write in place of mass volume into rho. Volume is V is volume and rho is the density into G into H upon T. I am substituting the values. I get volume is 4 into 10 to the power minus 3. Density is 1.03 into 10 to the power 3. G is 9.8. H is 0.13 upon time is 60 seconds. So I can divide this 60 by 4. 4 1 ja, 4 15 ja. Now P equals to 1.03 is multiplied by 0.13. 13 3 ja 39. 31 ja 13. Decimal after 2 and 2, 4 places. Now this 10 to the power minus 3 multiplied by 10 to the power 3 is 10 to the power 0, that is 1 into 9.8 upon 15 watt. Now answer will see. Point 1339 is multiplied by 9.8. Decimal after 5 places. So it is coming 1.31222. 1.31222 upon 15 watt. Now the power is required in horsepower, and in 1 horsepower there are 746 watt. So in order to convert watt into horsepower, I will have to divide it by 746 horsepower. Now it is in horsepower. Now on solving, 1.31222 upon 11190. Now this can be written as P equals to 13122 into 10 to the power minus 5 upon 11190. Now further on dividing, 11190, it is 13122. One time 11190. So this is 2, 3, 9, this much I am getting. Decimal? No. I will carry 2, then again 1 time 11190. This is 2, decimal 0 7 times 700 0 So if I further solve, I will get smaller than 5. So it is coming 11.7 into 10 to the power minus 5, which may be written as 1.17 into 10 to the power minus 4 hours power. So this is the answer of this question. The only thing, the beauty of the question lies in the language and in the formula, because the human heart forces 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. Nothing has been said about the volume. By the dimensions only, by the unit only, you have to perceive that this is the volume, because meter cube is the unit of volume of blood per minute through the arteries under a pressure of 0.13 meter. So pressure, they are saying pressure, but 0.13 is the height. Means pressure is exerted which is equal to the 0.13 meter height of blood column. So this is the height. Then calculate the horsepower. You have to convert watt into horsepower of the heart. The density of blood is given. So you might be thinking that why density has been given, because mass is required and mass is not given, and mass is equal to volume into density. So by this way we can solve the question. Now go through the module and keep on practicing the question explained. See you in the next module. Till then, stay home, stay safe.